Hey, shalom, Hashem, I want to start as always by giving all praise to Yahweh, Hashem, Yahushua, Hashem, Rakakwadash, double honors to the apostles of GMS, and honors to you brothers doing the work in truth, while sincerity. This is a quick video on this character, Mr. Terrific, right? I can't seem to see any of the examples here, but it's he's part of the DC universe, and in the television show, well, it's played by Jake. As you can see, it's designed as a Jake, right? And this Jake is super intelligent, speaks loads of different languages, etc., 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 right? However, right, in the TV adaptation, I don't know if it's in the in the normal cartoon or comic books, right? He's a flaming faggot, right? And I remember when this episode came out, where it was basically explaining just how intelligent Mr. Terrific is, right? I was just there like, okay, so right, so you can have a Jake on the screen, right? You can have him, like I said, be super intelligent, speaks all these languages, got all these degrees and whatever, what have you, right? But you just had to make him a homosexual, right? And that's part of Esau's agenda, right? Even in that new Sabrina, which is a good watch. I recommend, brothers, watch that, man, right? It's a bit dark, right? No, but not a bit dark. It's very dark. It goes into the occult heavy, right? So if that's not something you don't want to get into at the at this point in time, right? It's, not everything is you can't just be coming in and start watching things on Baphomet and that, because I said it's that shit goes deep. But now I'm straying from the point. You had, what's its face? You had yeah, even in that you got the Jake. The Jake in that is a homosexual, right? And it seems as if Jake is, is becoming the face of homosexuality, right? Because he's was trying to push it on Jake, because for the most part, Jake, you go back just 10 years ago, man, what we had Benjamin saying Batty man for dead. Right now, I'm hearing Benjamin, being like, if that's the way they deal in that, and that's within like 10, 12 years, right? This is Micah 2:1. It says, woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it, because it is in the power of their hands, right? And one of these bits of iniquity is pushing homosexuality on the world, right? To the end that, how would you call it, people can be destroyed, right? First foremost is removing the fear of the Lord from people, right? So when people do these acts and do these things, they don't really, because they might be like, oh yeah, God, this, that, and the other, but they don't, would you call it, they don't fear the Lord, because otherwise, if they did, they wouldn't be doing what it is that they're doing, right? So that was the first thing that Esau did, right? And then the next thing was basically push it out and advertise it as something cool, and then force it upon the children from a young age, right? I was really meditating on that scripture, train up a child as he should go, right? Because I look back at the madness that was pushed on me when I was growing up, and one of those things was lesbians, and lesbians are sexy, lesbian porn, yeah, watch all of that, right? So then you grow up, you're a teenager, you're watching lesbian porn, you see two girls kissing, you're all there getting hard and all of that, but that's madness, that's witchcraft, that's an abomination according to the Most High, right? And that's just from being shown imagery and hearing it in films, right? That two women kissing each other is sexy and attractive, right? So imagine when you're having young children, impressionable, being shown transgenders, transsexuals, showing them that it's an okay thing. What do you think they're gonna do? Are they gonna go up thinking it's okay, right? Contrary to the scriptures, right? That's train child. It says Proverbs 22:6. It says, train up a child in the way he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart from it. Right. So let's say you're a young Jake, and you're watching. You're a big fan of comics, right? You're watching Arrow, which is where Mr. Terrific, where I'm referencing him from. You're seeing him, right? You're gonna be like, right, so man's kissing some Asian dude, right? Calling him husband and all of that shit. You gonna think that shit's normal, right? But it ain't normal, and that's one of the reasons why this world is gonna be destroyed. People like to ask, oh, why does America have to be destroyed? Which they're like, do you really have to ask that? Right? It says Habakkuk 2:15 says, woe unto him that giveth his neighbor drink, that puttest thy bottle to him and makest him drunken also, that thou mayest look on their nakedness. Right? So what's that drink? It's a metaphorical for philosophies. Right? Woe unto him that giveth his neighbor philosophies. Right? That put, basically put your philosophies and doctrine on them, and one of those philosophies is homosexuality, transgenderism, right, women's lib, all of that sort of stuff, right? Once again, you'll be watching, and Netflix is particularly bad for this, right? Netflix love pushing, the homosexual agenda, right? But that's because of the world we live in, right? Such as the rule of the city is so are the people. Well, more than likely, it's part of the elite's plans, right? Because these companies, they need funding and whatever, what have you, right? Their budget for making films is ridiculous, right? Their originals budget, you see Netflix originals, right? This is Psalm 64. I'm going to start from verse 2. It says, hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked, right? The wicked, representing the East, or these elites, right? From the insurrection of the workers of iniquity, right? And a pushing homosexuality on the people is a work of iniquity. That's iniquity, right? And the secret counsel, right? Because they meet in secret, right? They don't come out there and tell you, yeah, we're trying to push the homosexual agenda so that, the nation of Israel, pick up homosexuality, whatever, what have you, and then the Lord will destroy them. No, they're not coming out and saying that. They're just doing it in secret, right? It says, who whet their tongue like a sword and bend their bows to shoot their arrows, even bitter words. Right? It says that they may shoot in secret at the perfect. Right? Who's the perfect? Right now it's the elect. Right, so suddenly do they shoot at him and fear not, the elect of Israel, that is, right? It says, and they encourage themselves in an evil matter. They commune of laying snares privately, right? Privately, yeah, they laying snares all around, right? In everything that, we do, right? Saying who shall see them, right? But their skirt is being lifted. These snares that they've been pushing on the people are being exposed, right? It says they search out iniquities, they accomplish a diligent search, right? One of those part of that diligent search is how the mind works, right? So constant repetition, right? Seeing it, they talk about representation. You get these homos, you get these black women. They'll be like, oh yeah, we don't, we're not represented in film, media, blah 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 blah, right? So, but what does that do? That's saying it's not normalized, right? So in constantly seeing homosexuals on a TV screen, what your kids gonna start thinking? Right, your kids are gonna start assuming that way is an okay way, not realizing that it leads to death. Right, like once again, even in the in that film, that Netflix series Sabrina that I was referencing, right, and that they're all going in heavy into the occult, right? You see Baphomet in the mix, you see them, casting spells and making enchantments and, making certain references, right? Which, that's a video on its own, right? Just a brief review of that series, right? But they hardly ever mention the what do you call it, the right hand side, right? Because this world is geared on the occult, is geared on the left hand side, and to be fair, these people enjoy it, which is why they hate the prophets. Right? Scripture says they hate them that rebuke at the gates, right? I've got any more? No, I ain't got any more. Right, so yeah, they accomplish a diligent search to even finish this one. It says both the inward thought of every one of them and the heart is deep. right? Yeah, I'll read verse 8. It says, so shall they make their own tongue to fall upon themselves, right? Because you're having, which called other Edomites coming out and basically exposing the elites, exposing the plans, right? So that the whole world can know, the scripture says, right? Like the scripture says, that skirt is lifted up. On Isaiah the 47th chapter, right? So yeah, Lord's will, that was edifying. Until the next time, I say shalom.